James the First came down to rule when Queen Bess handed in her pegs. England's citizens stood and stared at Jimmy and his bony legs. They'd never seen a kilt before, and they thought it was a woman. And when the bagpipes began to wail, they swore he wasn't human. "What's the country coming to?" cried old Sir Walter Raleigh. "I'll smoke myself to death before him and me get pally." James got niggled on hearing this, and in his best Scotch brogue, yelled to Walter, "Scots awa', I'll run ye through, ye rogue." Walter took umbrage at these words. It really wasn't cricket. And when Jimmy waved his dirk, told him where to stick it. That really started quite a stir, and James began to glower. Two Highland lads picked up Walt and flung him in the bloody tower. Oh, Walt couldn't believe his eyes, and him a sir and all. He got so mad that with some chalk wrote "Go home, Scotty" on the wall. Now up in Yorkshire County lived a pal of poor old Walt, who when he heard what happened said it's that there James's fault. Guy Fawkes was this chap's name, a true blue Yorkshire type. He decided to help his mate and set off on his bike. Guy Fawkes went off to London to have a word with James and found him showing the girls how to play some Highland games. James saw Guy Fawkes standing there and feeling rather frisky, offered him a pewter jar full of Highland whisky. Guy gulped it down without a thought, then wondered what had hit him. His eyeballs turned inside out and his teeth jumped out and bit him. By gum, thought Guy, he's poisoned me with his devilish Highland brew. I'll never help poor Walter now by giving old James his due. Of course, he was quite wrong. In fact, he soon felt quite alive. Before he could say "Annie Laurie," Jim and him began to jive. When Guy woke up the following day with a thick and pounding head, he blamed poor James for the feeling and said Jim would be better dead. He went off to see Sir Walter, who on his bald was curled. He was busy with his memoirs on his travels round the world. Old Walt was glad to see him, and the two began to plan on how best to get rid of Jimmy and the rest of his Scottish clan. "I could stab him," said Guy Fawkes, "but I can't stand the sight of blood. And if he can drink that whisky, poisoning won't be any good." "I've got it," cried Sir Walter. In his voice there was a lilt. "Make a bomb that looked like haggis and throw it up his kilt." "That's no good," said his old pal Guy. "At throwing I must scream. It's the only thing that stopped me playing for Yorkshire's cricket team." "I've thought of a beauty," Sir Walter said. "I think it's worth a try. When Jimmy opens Parliament, you blow the place sky high." "I happen to know," said Wally. "Believe me, there isn't a catch. In the cellars are barrels of gunpowder waiting for a guy with a match." Guy Fawkes looked a bit thoughtful and said, "It doesn't give me much chance. I don't want to go up with that lot. I'm taking a bird to a dam." "The answer to that's quite simple," said Walter, quite pleased with his ruse. "When you go to the cellar to do it, just take an extra long fuse." So the evening before Parliament opened, Guy Fawkes crept into the crypt and fastened the fuse to the powder. Then on top of the barrels he kissed. When morning dawned, he got ready and waited for James and that lot, who came flaunting their kilts and their sporrans, unaware of the gunpowder plot. Guy took a match from his pocket when he heard the bagpipes wailing above. He thought, now's the time to get cracking. Here's to Jimmy, from Guy with love. He lifted his match and struck it on the wall. Then came a catch. Instead of a flame, nothing happened. It was a newfangled safety match. Things were looking quite desperate. Guy Fawkes were right on the rocks. The match he held wasn't worth a light till it was stuck on the box. He fumbled around in his doublet and hose for the box, now the time was right. Then he remembered he'd left it with Walt so that he could light his pipe. So for the sake of a match, the plot misfired, and Guy finished up with Walt. And anyone hearing this little yarn, take it with a pinch of salt. Guy Fawkes did his best to put things right, and I think I'd better mention he's the only fella to enter Parliament with any good intention.